That's right.
All right, guys, I'm going to mute myself and then we'll just kick off. And then if anyone jumps in, I'll just add them in as we go, okay?
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Rory.
All right. Well, it's just a few of us tonight, so that's good. I have lots of time to look at what you're doing. All right, we're going to start. Well, we're going to work on snatch tonight. One of the things that we're going to do is a lot of slow work with the pole. One of the things that I've been paying attention to is the amount of overly technical kind of emphasis that we've been doing, and we're just going to make it a little simpler tonight and just work on finding the form that I want your body to be in, so that once we start adding weight, you don't have to think about that aspect of it anymore. Yeah? So to get started, let's just get moving around a little bit. We'll start with 10 body weight squats, but I want you to take your time and do a nice 3-second down, 3-second up. All right, then we're going to do 5 inchworms. As you're walking your hands out, make sure you take the time to get that good stretch on the hamstrings. Once you're in your plank position, really drive the heels back toward the floor so you get a good stretch on the calves. And then walk those hands back up nice and slow, keeping those legs as straight as you can for as long as you can. Good, and 4 more just like that. All right, we're going to do one more walkout, and this time when you're in your plank position, I want you to bring your right leg up to your right hand for a lunge position. Your shit should be on the outside of your hand. Still want you to drive the back leg back so that you're driving that heel toward the floor and you're keeping that back leg active. Hi, Kimberly. From there, you're going to take the right elbow and try to get it to the inside of the right foot and bring that forearm to the floor or however low you can get, keeping that back leg nice and active. And then from there, reach up to the sky with that right hand, thinking about being long from the back foot all the way to the tip of the head, as well as reaching up and getting tall to the ceiling. And then back down to the floor with that elbow and forearm. And then back up to the sky, thinking about creating length in every plane. Back down to the floor. And back up to the sky. And then you're going to put both hands on the floor and you're going to put the back knee down on the floor. You're going to sit back on that back leg and keep the front leg long and have a nice little hamstring stretch. So if you've got the flexibility and you want to lean forward over that leg and pull a little extra stretch, go ahead. Otherwise, it may just be enough for you to sit back nice and tall. We're going to come back up on that front leg, put the hands on the ground and switch legs. So your left leg comes up and the right leg goes, the right leg goes back and stays active. Driving that heel to the ground We're going to do the same thing. The left arm, the elbow comes down to the inside of the foot, with the forearm trying to be flat on the floor. Whatever position you can get into there. Bring that knee in, Keith. There we go. If the knee is going to want to drive out to compensate for tight hips, we want to try to keep the knee in line over the ankle and only come down as low as your hips allow you to come. Then up to the sky, you're reaching with that same hand, getting long from the foot to the head as well as up to the ceiling, and back down to the inside of the foot, and back up to the ceiling, back to the inside of the foot, back up to the ceiling, hands back down to the floor. You're going to bend that back leg, come up for an easy hamstring stretch. Got everybody there? All right, then back up with your hands on the floor into your plank position. And then you're going to just walk those hands back to the feet and back up to standing. We're going to come back to our squats this time, and this time without worrying about 3 seconds, but not racing. We just want 10 nice air squats. Hips back. All right, then 10 ground to overhead. So you're just going to squat down and touch the floor and then reach up to the sky with big straight arms, straight up to the ceiling. Good. Straight up overhead. Try to get those shoulders up and moving. There we go. Excellent. All right, grab your bars or your broomsticks. We're going to start with pass-throughs. As always, pushing that bar away from you to make as big of a circle as you can. We want to keep the arms active, pushing the bar away from us, both behind, overhead, and in front. Lock your feet in. There you go. Squeeze the belly button back to the spine. Screw those thighs into the floor. And focus on opening up that shoulder. We're going to speed up a little bit if you're comfortable. We're not looking to go super fast. We're just looking to make some movement through those shoulders. All right, with a bar on the back of the neck, we're going to do big arm circles like we're swimming. And then we're going to come up nice and tall. We're going to grab in roughly our snatch grip. And we're just going to do 10 behind the neck strict press. Drive that bar up to the ceiling. Straight up behind the head. So look up ahead. There you go. Feel that bar just skimming the back of the head. Maybe brushing your hair a little. You want that nice straight line up. Think about really pushing it up, locking it out. Always act with that bar like it's 100 kilos. Or for those of us that have never actually put 100 kilos over our head, you know, we just have to imagine. That's all right. All right, we're going to now move into some overhead squats. So take that nice strong push press or strict press, drive that bar up, keeping the bar as close as you can to right behind the back of the head. So keeping those shoulders tight, you're going to push the hips back and squat down. And up for 5. All right, so this is a tricky one. When you don't have anybody there to keep an eye on your shoulder position, if you have such a wide grip that that bar isn't in contact with the back of your head, one of the things you can do is use a red band or, I don't know, a necktie, a belt, put it around your elbows, and then you should feel that object on the back of your head when you're in your overhead snatch position. So turn to the side, bring your arms forward a little bit. That's where we want to be. So you should feel, if you're just to bend those elbows a little bit, you should feel that bar brush the hair on the back of your head. If you're not feeling that, then chances are your shoulder position is too far back. Now we want that bar over the shoulders, over the hips, over the ankles. There you go, Rich. That's good. So we're going to go for 5 more overhead squats. Trying to keep those shoulders actively engaged. Don't let them slide back behind you. All right. Getting into the snatch grip position with the bars at the hips. We're going to go through our classic down up, or what is called down and finish. We're just looking to create speed through the middle. So what I want you to really focus on, everything that we do tonight is going to be about tension through the shoulder blades. So I want you to pull those shoulder blades back nice and tight, screw those feet into the ground, and then you're going to slightly, just slightly bend at the hips and the knees for a small movement, and you're going to stand it up, keeping those shoulders back the whole time. And again, straight down. Your shoulders should drop straight over your ankles and not come forward. And up. Nice, Kimberly. I can see that tension. And down. And up. And again. Keep that bar close to you, Rich. As you pull those shoulder blades back, it should be pulling that hip, that bar into your hip. Can you turn sideways, Heath? So relax the shoulders. Now lean forward at the hips and let the bar come away from you. No, lean forward, like really come forward at the hips. Now pull your shoulder blades back nice and tight. Okay, now stand it up. See, that pulls that bar into the hips, so there should be no gap between your bar and the body when your shoulder blades are back nice and tight. All right, so we're going to speed it up now for some speed through the middle and down and finish. Good. Squeeze those shoulder blades back, down and finish. Nice line, Ellie. And again, down and finish. Keep that bar wrapped around you like you're trying to break it around your midsection. That bar should be in contact with your body while we're doing this. And down and finish. And down and finish. Good. All right. Keeping that tension through the shoulder blades now, and this is going to get tricky. We're going to do a super slow elbows high and outside. So you're going to come down. And then you're going to come up with your finish, which is your extension. You're going to squeeze together, pull the elbows high and outside. Nope, don't let that bar come away from you. Come back down. That bar should ride up the front of your shirt. There we go. And down. Good. Really super slow. We're going to do this 5 times. Down, up to hip extension, Pull those elbows back and up while keeping the shoulder blades nice and tight. Good. And again. Nice and tight through the shoulder blades. Down. 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 There you go. And up and finish. Then big elbows high and outside. Good. And one more time. Down. Extend the hips up for finish. And big elbows high and outside. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze tight, and then lower down. If you're doing this right, it should be tiring in its own right. Yeah, that tension just between the shoulder blades should be a little taxing. Are you feeling that, Heath? Yeah, good. All right. Well, there's one. All right, we're going to speed it up a little bit, but we still want to keep that tension. Yeah. So nice and tight. We're going to down and finish, elbows high. Go. Good. Down and finish, elbows high. Down and finish, elbows high. Let it drop as soon as you're up to the top. Good. Down and finish, elbows high. Awesome. All right. So this is tricky, and I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but we don't want to pull the bar up during a snatch, right? We want to use the weightlessness created in that finish to pull our bodies down and around the bar. But this is an effective drill because it teaches a proper bar path, and I want you to feel the line of least resistance, yeah, so that you just are used to pulling it nice and close to you. So don't think about pulling it up, think about pulling it in. Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to do one more time, 5 times, but we're going to go nice and fast. So as soon as that bar reaches the height, it comes right back down. Yeah, and then you breathe, reset, and go again. So down and finish, elbows high. Go. Nice. And go. And again, go. Good. And remember to reset, pull those shoulder blades back nice and tight, and go. And one more time, reset, and go. Nice. All right. We're going to take this now and turn it into a muscle snatch. So from that high overhead position or high elbow position, can you pull up into that? We're going to try to keep the bar still as close as we can to the front of our face as we go up and overhead. Nice. Pull that forward a little bit so that it's straight up over the shoulders. Go up, 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 up. There we go. So we're going to go super slow on these because we want to keep the shoulders back. It's difficult, but it's the key to the movement. And we're going to focus on those shoulders and those elbows nice and high. We're going to pull from 3 positions. So we're going to start with that down finish. So just a small bend in the hips and the knees. And we're going to go straight up into a nice slow muscle snatch. Yeah. Nice. And back down and reset. Squeeze nice and tight and slow snatch. Keep that bar nice and tight. Bring those arms forward a little bit, Ellie. There we go. Yeah, I think it's a little hard to tell with the shadow, but I think that's it. All right, and again. Down and up, nice slow snatch. Keep that bar as absolute close to you as you can. Good, and one more time. Those are nice lines I'm seeing. Kimberly, I don't know your space. Is it possible for you to turn sideways? If it's not, that's, yeah, there we go. All right, and one more time, nice and slow. Keep that bar super close. That's better, Elise. Nice, all right, that's what I want to see. Okay, now we're going to go down from the second position. So we were just in a high hip with that initial down finish. Now we're going to go down to just above the knee. So again, focusing on those shoulder blades, you're going to pull back nice and tight. You're going to dip at the knees and the hips, and then you're going to slowly, oh no, come back up. Small dip in the knees and the hips. From there, you're going to rotate forward with the hips. There we go. Pull that bar down and into you as it comes to the front of the knees. Good. See that tension in behind those shoulder blades? That's what we're going to keep. And then we're going to slowly come up, full extension. Then the elbows come high and outside. Good. Keep those heels on the ground. The feet aren't moving for this. Good. And we're going to do that again. So reset, shoulder blades back nice and tight. Our small dip with our hips and our knees. And then we're going to rotate forward, keeping those shoulder blades squeezed back as you lower down to the top of the knee. From there, the shoulders and the hips come up at the same time. Bring that bar up nice and overhead. Bring those hands forward a little bit. There we go. And again, reset. Shoulder blades back nice and tight. Little bend in the knee, little bend in the hip. You're going to slowly lower down to the top of the knee by rotating forward, keeping those shoulders over the bar. And from there, you're going to drive up, open the hips, reach those elbows high and up and overhead. Lovely. Ah, the slow movement's great. Are you guys getting tired yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, we're going to do 3 more and then we'll take a little break. So now we're going to come from the mid shin. So same start, shoulder blades back nice and tight. We're going to start with a high hip dip, that down and finish, then rotating down to the top of the knees. And this is where keeping the tension between the shoulder blades is going to be tiring. Now you're going to lower down to the mid shin. And then same thing, standing up nice and tall, nice and slow, big overhead muscle snatch. Yeah. All right. So back to start. Shoulder blades nice and tight. Lower down to your dip position. Then down to the top of the knee. Then down to mid shin. Keeping those shoulder blades back nice and tight. We're going to drive up to the top of the knee, all the way up to hips open, elbows high and outside and overhead. Neil, bring those elbows up a little higher before you bring the stick up. I know it's hard on those shoulders, but that's what we're working on. All right, shoulder blades back nice and tight. And no, I sound like a broken record. As soon as we're all there all the time, I can stop saying it, I promise. All right, dip at the hips and the knees, lower down to the top of the knees, down to the mid shin. Nice and tight, keeping those shoulder blades back, and we're going to stand it up, stand it up, stand it up, all the way, hips up and overhead with high elbows. Good. All right, take a break, shake it out if you need to. All right, now we're going to speed those up. We're going to do the same thing from all 3 positions, but we're going to start working at a faster speed. Yeah. So keeping those shoulder blades back nice and tight. We're going to still go super slow on the descent because those shoulder blades back and keeping that tension in that upper back for the first pull of the snatch is key to setting everything else off right. So shoulders blades back nice and tight, dip at the hips, dip at the knees, slowly lower down to the top of the knees, keeping that tension in the shoulders, lower down to the mid shin. We're going to come back up standing. Excellent. All right. Rich, I can't, it looks like that bar, oh, there it is. Okay. No, it was an optical illusion that your bar wasn't close to you. Once you turned, it was. I see it. Oh, and now I see all of Ellie as a dark shadow, like an evil comic character. All right. We're going to start with the dip and the down and finish. So it's a high hang muscle snatch, this time nice and fast, but we're still focusing on shoulder blades back, elbows high and outside. So down and finish and muscle snatch. Just from a high hang is where we're going to start. And back down, shoulder blades back nice and tight. Small dip at the hips and the knees and muscle snatch. Yeah, keeping that bar always right in front of you. And one more time. Shoulder blades back nice and tight and muscle snatch. Drive that bar up overhead. Nice. No light in between the bar and your body, Ellie. Creepy shadow, but it's great for seeing gaps. All right, now we're going to lower down to the top of the knees. Shoulder blades back nice and tight. Dip at the hips and the knees, and then slowly lower down to the top of the knees. And then open those hips up and muscle snatch. Elbows high and outside. Yeah, good. Good extension and good speed through the middle. Again, shoulder blades back nice and tight. Bend at the hips, slight bend at the knees, slower down to the tops of the knees, and extend and muscle snatch. Awesome. One more time. Lower down and up. Awesome. Excellent job keeping the bar nice and close and having good speed through the middle. We're going to go now down to the mid shin and do the exact same thing. So again, keeping that focus between the shoulder blades, staying nice and tight as you lower all the way down. Start with that first dip, lower down to the top of the knee, then down to the mid shin. Stay nice and tight as you drive up, big open hips, and drive that bar up and overhead. And again, dip, lower down to the top of the knees, lower down to mid shin, and up. And one more time, shoulder blades back, lower down to the top of the knees, keep those shoulders tight, down to mid shin, and muscle snatch. Excellent bar path. Nice work. All right, take it and shake it out. You're not shaking it out. You're guys standing there looking like you're posing for a 15th century portrait. It's pretty good. All right, we're going to look at some power snatch lands. So we're going to come with the bar onto the back of the neck. All we're going to do is look at coming down into, say, a 4-inch squat. It's not very far. Come back up to the top. Okay. You're going to give a little heave and come down into a high squat. So it's a snatch land. There we go. Pull that bar forward. That's it. And up. So again, pulling those shoulder blades back nice and tight. Kimberly, I think you need to bring your hands just a little bit wider. Just a little. Make sure to practice that hook grip while you can. So the thumb should be underneath the fingers. Okay, we're going to pull back nice and tight. And we're going to start with just a partial squat. So about 4 inches is all we're looking for. We're driving our body under the bar. Yeah? So nice and tight, big breath, and drive. And stand it up. Good, and reset. Bar on the back of the shoulders. This time we're going to come down into maybe a 6-inch squat. Yeah, just a little lower. We're driving our body down under that bar by staying nice and tight through the shoulder blades and acting as if there's 100 kilos on the bar and we're pushing down. And go. Good, and back up. Oh, we're going to keep the feet in position for this. We're not moving the feet yet. And again, about a 6-inch squat. Make sure that you're feeling that those arms are directly over the shoulders. If you feel like they're coming behind you a little bit, bring that bar up overhead. That's it, Kimberly, good adjustment. Nice. All right, we're gonna go for a little deeper squat now. With the feet staying in place, we're not working on footwork yet. We're just looking on pushing under that bar. You're gonna stay nice and tight. Pull the belly button back to the spine because a strong core is essential here. And drive. Bring those arms up a little bit, straight up. And again. And again. Good. Neil, stick it for a minute longer in that receipt position before, not a minute, sorry, a second longer before you stand it up. Good. Ellie, I want you to try to push under that bar so that I don't see the bar being lifted up. So a little faster, driving down. And again, reset. And drive. Nice, that was better. One movement. Awesome. Okay. How much can I overuse that word tonight? But it does look good. All right, so now we're going to take these power snatch lands and we're going to go into a full snatch. So we're going to look at going into a full depth squat, but we're still keeping our feet in place. So if you need to start with a slightly wider stance to accommodate that, then do. And then the next thing that we're going to do is going to be bringing footwork into it. But right now we just want to work on that idea that we're pushing ourselves under the bar. The tighter that you are in that midsection, pulling that belly button back, and the more you're driving with those arms to push your body under the bar, the more solid you're going to feel in that landing position. If you're in a rush to get out of the bottom of it, then you're probably not feeling very solid. So take an extra second, figure out what's off, stand it up, and then the next time try to address that, all right? All right, so starting back up with a bar on the back of the neck. Nice and solid. Big breath. And this time going for a full squat. Drive under that bar. Good speed, Kimberly. Reset. And drive. Good depth, Ellie. Now a little faster to get down there. Reset. And drive. Yeah, that's better. And now even more so. By the time your arms extend fully, you should be at the bottom of your squat. Big breath. And drive. Yeah, that's it, Ellie. Nice, Kimberly. Good, Rich. And I like that extension through the arms, Neil. That's looking stronger. All right. We get to bring the feet into it now. So this time, you're going to start in your start position, which means the feet are a little closer together than if you had to bring them out for your snatch. And your feet are going to slide out from your start position to your landing position. So bring them back in. And I want you to drive under the bar and bring your feet out at the same time. Good. And again, let's see if I can get your feet a little better. So we're not looking at a big jump. The feet are just sliding out to accommodate the depth of the squat. There we go. One more time.
When you say slide, Ellie,
Yeah.
literally means slide.
No, they can't come up off the floor.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know how well you can see that there, but what I want to avoid is that the heave and coming up onto the toes to come out. We don't want that right now. What we want is a very small movement. Nope, don't bring the heels up. It's okay. I want you to show them what we do want. Yeah, we just want the speed of the feet coming out.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check before I penguin slid across the garage.
No, thank you. Or maybe somebody would get rug burn and that would hurt. So thank you for clarifying.
No.
All right. What?
No, it's all good. Thanks.
Okay. All right, let's get back up to it. Pulling those shoulder blades back nice and tight and the belly button into the spine. Always want tension. We're going to drop under that bar with full extension occurring by the same time we hit the bottom of our squat. This time we can slide our feet out and go. Nice. The speed is different. That's great to see. That's what we want. It should get faster when you slide your feet out. And again, reset. And drive. And again, reset. And drive. Oh, yes. Lovely. That was really good speed. All right. We're going to do something a little different now, and we're going to do this from the front. Now, this isn't something that we normally do with barbells or with load. You can do it with a bar. You can do it with a little load, but we generally want to keep this movement light. But this time we're going to come up into a big chested position. So still in your snatch whip grip. Snatch whip grip. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Big chest up. You're really going to want to make sure that you pull your face back up and out of the way. But then we're going to do the exact same thing. Nope, put it back down. Okay, sorry. And drive under that bar.
Oh, watch that shins.
Yeah, you got to watch. Make sure you pull your face back out of the way. You don't want to hit your chin or your nose. And it's one of the reasons why we don't do it with weighted bars. There we go. So get up strong, nice and set, big chest. Nice, Neil. Good speed. Solid drop, Ellie. Fight to keep that chest up, Rich. Like the speed underneath. Awesome, Kimberly. Your head is cut off in that photo, but you look like Wonder Woman, which is very cool. All right, we're going to do that 3 more times. So shake it out if it's an uncomfortable position. As much as possible, I want you to try to make contact with the bar and the shoulders. It can be an awkward position for the arms. So you really have to fight to kind of push that chest up a little bit, but you need to do that while still keeping the belly button pulled back toward the spine. Okay, can you get back?
Ellie, do you mean when you say the shoulders? Like I'm
sideways.
Chest, but not shoulders.
No, not that far. A little bit more this way. There we go. Bring it up to there. If it touches the chest instead of the shoulders, that's fine. Ideally, with shrugging here, or not shrugging, but pulling those shoulder blades back in together, it should potentially hit your delts, the top of your shoulders, as well as your chest.
Okay.
It may not.
Okay.
Right? Could be. All right, and we're going to get back into our start position. Again, pulling that chin and that nose out of the way. We want the bar to go straight up. So pull the head back as you drive under that bar. And drop or drive. That's over. All right. Think of it like a combination of a jerk and a snatch where you're pulling the head out of the way. You don't want to move the bar around the face. You want to pull the face back. And drive. Yeah, that's better, Ellie. Nice line. Good, Rich. Solid speed. Neil, that left arm's getting a little straighter every time.
Good.
And one more time. Up to the chest. Big breath. Drive. Excellent. Those look much better. All right. Take a break. Okay, we're going to go back now and we're going to do our full snatch. So instead of the muscle snatch, we're going to go back to our dip position, our down, our down and finish. And we're going to come with a nice, let me go back. All right. Nice tight shoulders, small dip down, full snatch. Good. We want to make sure that with this hip, this high hip position, we're getting full extension on the hips before we drop under that bar. And again, nice and tight, down and drop. There we go. All right. So pulling those shoulder blades back. We're going to come into our high hip position and snatch. Oh, yes. Keeping those bars nice and close. It looks like it's already in the muscle memory, which is actually a misnomer, but we're going to go with it. And again, pulling back nice and tight. We're going into that high hip position. And snatch. Excellent. Little bit of early pull, so make sure those hips open fully before you start driving yourself under that bar, but pulling back nice and tight and high hip position and snatch. Lovely, Neil. That's great depth and good speed. All right, we're going to do it again now, this time. Pulling into that high hang position. We're going to rotate down till we're at the top of the knee. Keeping those shoulder blades back nice and tight. And snatch. Good. Keep that focus on opening those hips all the way before you drive under that bar. What's up, Ellie?
Can I ask a question about breathing?
Absolutely.
Do I want to, like, that moment before you go, whether it's you saying it or me in my head, so when I'm in that ready position at the top of my knees, do I take a big breath there and hold it the whole way through to the bottom and then breathe once I've stood up? Or am I not really kind of holding it until I get to the bottom of the squat? Or am I overthinking it and I should just shut up and do it?
No, you're not overthinking it. The tricky thing is because we're slowing it, the way that we're pausing at the top of the knee is throwing off the normal rhythm of it. So what we can do, so yes, the answer would be that you would take a big deep breath before you go from there. Yep. But only under the condition that you can do that, keeping the tension between the shoulder blades. What we want to do is take a big deep breath at the top, lower down straight to the top of the knee, and then go into our snatch all in one breath.
Okay. So
but we're going slower. Yeah. So yes, take a breath at the top of the knee.
Great. Either way, that actually answers my question. Great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll mute again.
All right, one more time. So this time you're going to go down into your hang position on your own time. And as soon as you hit the top of the knee, you come up into your snatch, nice and tall. How you doing there, Neil?
Backwards.
Yeah,
Unbalanced.
that's actually a good sign. If you find you're throwing yourself backwards, that means that you have really good extension through the hips. Because the idea is if you have weight in your hands, the amount of force you're creating with the body through that extension is tempered by all the weight in your hands. So when you just have a broomstick in your hand, if you're really exploding up like that, you can throw yourself backwards. Now, what I want you to do is temper your extension so that you can keep your balance. So you still drive up, and you still drive up fully, but not with exactly just like that, with controlled force. All right?
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to go from mid shin. Shoulder blades back nice and tight. Slowly lower down. Once you get to the mid shin, you're going to drive up with big hip extension and drive yourself under that bar once you reach weightlessness. Yes, Rich. That was excellent. Good, Ellie. Pull that bar just a little closer to you. Keep it nice and tight to the body. And again. Okay. For this last one, I want to make sure that as we lower down to the mid shin, we're keeping a good angle so that those shoulders are still in front of the bar. I think I see a couple of hips getting a little too low, which is pulling the shoulders back to on top of the bar. So as you're lowering down, make sure your shoulders are still slightly in front of that bar. That's better, Neil. Good, Rich. I like that better, Ellie. I don't know how it felt, but it was a nice, smooth line. All right. The last finisher that we're going to do. Oh, we're going to let Ellie finish this last time. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to get down into our behind the neck squat position. Oh, dear. This is how I know class is about over. He's had all he can take in about 50 minutes. Come on, buddy, move. Come on. Come on. All right. All right. Down into our squat position, keeping those shoulder blades back nice and tight. And we're going to, nope. I say you're going to press up to the sky, staying in that squat position. Straight up. There we go. Good. And again, 3 times. Good. Stand it up at the top. Lovely. Good. If you cannot come into a full squat and maintain the tension that you need to press overhead, then come into a partial squat. And over time, we'll get deeper and deeper into that squat. Nice. Really drive it up. Push it out. Rich, stand as solid as you can at the top of it. Pause for a second and then lower back down. Just a set of 3 to start with. We want to keep the lower body as stable as possible. The only thing that should be moving is the shoulders. Stand it up, shake it out. We're going to do that another 3 times. If you can, this time, come a little lower into that squat if you need to. If you're already in the bottom of the squat, try to control your body so that you're not bouncing as you press up. Bring your elbows under the bar before you press it overhead. As much as possible, maintain that vertical body. Yeah. It's ridiculous how much joy I find from this. So you have to pardon my weird yeahs and awesomes. But I love the idea that when you get the bars back in your hands, you're not going to have to think about this stuff anymore. All right, we're going to do one more set of 3. Pull those elbows under the bar before you press up. That's it, Kimberly. Good. Better line. Bring those elbows under and press straight up.
I feel like I have to do something weird to get the bar up.
You feel like you have to do something weird.
I am using a barbell, but it still looks a bit weird. Will you just have a look and see what you think?
Yeah. Chewy. So honestly, Ellie, from this angle, it looks pretty solid. It does look like once you're at full extension, you start to wobble a little. But usually the hardest part is the initial press.
I'm taking my hands wider than I would normally for my snatch grip. For some reason, like it almost feels like it's impossible to like push it up. But then if I take my hands a bit wider, suddenly it becomes possible. Which I just fight to keep them in the right place.
Well, I guess the question would be then, are your hands in the right place for your normal snatch grip? Or is it just a mobility issue? And it could be that. Yeah. It could just be that you're going to have to start with them where they're at and try to bring them in slowly to meet your natural snatch position.
That's the way my shoulders do when we have just a bar. So there's some weight, like a proper bar. It's like my shoulders down here, they don't want to move. But with a this and wide like this, I can do that. But if we have a normal bar, that's where I get stuck. And it's just like, there's no movement for me.
Yeah. So that's part of why we want to start doing them without weight. Yeah. The idea is that you're going to start off in that. Can you get into your position? Facing the camera. Is that your natural snatch position now? Ish. Okay, come down into your squat. So if you have to bring your hands wider to press up overhead like that, then we want to get to where that can happen. And then we want to slowly start working them in to where we can manage it in our proper snatch position. It's just another scale. Yeah, you're bringing those arms out. And they're slowly, well, that was a big jump, but slowly bringing them in 1/2 inch each time till you start building that strength in the proper position. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's all.
Maybe.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, then the last thing that we're going to do is just a real quick isolated side bend. These are really good to do when you do have your barbells, but they're also excellent to do when you just have a stick. You're going to plant your legs into the position just like you are at the start of your snatch. But then with your hands out, you're going to slowly lean to the side, trying to keep as flat in one plane as you can, coming as far as you can over, and then squeezing with the opposite side to stand it up. I'm sorry? Oh, squeeze the butt. Here you go, one side and then the next. And we want to do 5 on each side to start with. If you're using the barbell, be gentle with yourself at first. Well, Ellie's fine. Keep those elbows under the bar as well, Neil, if you can. If you don't have full extension out, so that you keep a nice line. Good. Try not to fold forward. Stay as in line with the body as you can. And then nice and controlled, squeeze it to come up to the top. I'd like to say I'm just doing this because it's fun to watch you guys do it. But it is a good exercise for isolating some of those muscles in the core that we really need to be strong in that receipt position in the snatch. So it's a good little finisher. Hope you got something out of this.
Yes, thank you.
Again, I know it's not as exciting a lot of times as the weight, but it will pay off. Hopefully by the time we get back into the gym, these things will just be second nature. And then I can start confusing you with more things to think about. Different things.
That's the best my snatch has like ever felt. I know I was just using a 15, but honestly, like that's the most it's ever felt like, oh, I've just landed and it's there.
Ah, cool. Yeah. It is actually an excellent opportunity for all of us. And I'm talking to myself because I've been telling myself this all week. The more I can do these slow drills, it's the things that we don't make the time for on a normal basis when we have weights available to us. So this is a good time to put that focus in on positioning and think. You can feel where it's hard and where it hurts or where it's, exhausting to be in. And that's where we need to get stronger, because once we have weight there, it's even harder to hold that position. Yeah. So we need to make sure that those are the ones that we're locking in now. So
Thank you.
That's enough memory.
Can we see Chewy?
Yeah, you can see Chewy once more. You can come out of the box. You want to come in, buddy?
Oh my god, he's so big.
He's gorgeous, like a bear.
Yeah. He's a big puppy is what he is. So
Have to travel far to get him, or was there local breeders?
no, there aren't a lot of them in the UK, it turns out, but it turns out that there are a handful of them up here in Scotland because this is good weather for them.
Yeah.
They're mountain dogs. They're working dogs.
What type is he? Is he a Newfoundland or?
He's a Lunenburger,
Oh.
and it's a breed that came out of mixing Newfoundlands and St. Bernards years ago.
All right, cool.
Wow.
He's beautiful.
400 years ago, apparently the Belgians were bored, but they're good temperament dogs.
He's a beautiful boy.
Mm,
So handsome.
Mm.
jealous.
I know. At least you've got him to cuddle at night.
I'm sorry?
At least you've got him to cuddle in these dark times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has he
He's
seen
just going too crazy. Oh, it's lovely to see all your faces.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie and Heath. Really appreciate it.